What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Jacob Does Everything video. And in today's video, well, we're doing a park tour, and I guess I haven't done one of these in a while. But we're doing a park tour. We're doing a tour of a park that I've just been building, and it actually has a massive collection of coasters. It actually has the most coasters I think I've built on any park by far yet. It has 14 flat rides and 11 coasters. I was planning on adding more coasters, but then I was like, well... Oh, here's the fixed sun. So, fixed sun should be fine. Now, the reason I'm doing fixed sun is, well, it was 5 o'clock, and I don't want it to be 5 o'clock, like, while I'm doing the video. But, so, let's just go ahead and go back to this entrance area. So you can see here, this is the entrance area. You have a few coasters that are right on top of you. In fact, you have our tilt coaster, and you have the B&M Hyper, which you can see is speeding over there. But as of here, this is the front entrance. This coaster flies right over as people are entering the park. But here we go into the park. Now there's a lot of people entering the park right now, so bear with this, obviously. So here, we're going to go in here. This is the pre-built arcade thing. In fact, this is the pre-built arcade thing. And so, we're not worried about this, obviously, in terms of the tour. Now, what I am going to do is I'm turning down my headphones because my headphones are extremely loud. So, with this park, you'll notice some creativity, but not really, in terms of, like, stations and all that. So, like, you'll see some covered queues, like 3 covered queues in this tour, and the rest are not. Here's one of them. It's for the Grand Carousel. And then obviously another one is for the Nebulas, which has no line right now, which is kind of shocking. So usually I would start on the right side of the park, but we're actually going to go to that side of the park last, because in my opinion, that park has some of the greatest coasters. Actually, we'll start over here with the tilt coaster and the launch coaster, but we're going to start with the launch coaster first. And the reason I'm starting with it first is because I was going to build a building for this coaster, like, you know, like a proper, you know, like a building over the ride. So it was going to be indoors, like something like Flight of Fear at Kings Island. But I decided to ultimately stop that project. It was taking a lot of time. And so now it's just outside completely. But we're going to ride Anaconda. And I'll mute in once we start the ride, obviously. But if you guys enjoyed these Planet Coaster Park tours, or if you guys want to see a new Planet Coaster Park series, let me know in the comments down below. I will start a new one at some point. I just haven't gotten there yet, obviously. But I really do want to do more of these park tours. They're fun. I want you guys to see a park being built, and then me do the park tour. So let me know how you think of that concept idea. But yeah, this park is called Wildwood. I've been building it for probably about the last 2 months, like month and a half. I'd say now, maybe it was the whole month of June, actually. I think it was actually the whole month of June. But this park is amazing. It has a lot of good rides. You'll see a lot of the park from this ride alone. Anyways, I'm going to mute, and you guys enjoy your ride. that was the Anaconda coaster, and I'm sure you guys can actually. Oh wait, I'm already in the. I didn't know if it actually put me in the view or not. But as you can tell, this actually is very similar to Flight of Fear. Obviously, you have the separate load and unload. You also have a few elements from the Flight of Fear coasters, or spaghetti bowls, I should just say. You have the Cobra roll at the start of the launch. You have this dive loop, which they actually do not have a dive. No, I don't think they have a dive loop. I think they have an element. So you get a lot of different interesting elements on that ride, of course. A lot of really good elements. Now next up is the Tilt Coaster. And I'm actually excited for this one because I love this ride. I love it. It's called Megamind, and the train just dispatched, so we're going to have to wait for the next train. But I guess we can just see it. We can look at the whole ride as it's traversing through the layout. It has, obviously, that tilt drop, which is about 100 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken. I did turn off the forward boosting launch on it, so it doesn't launch as it's coming down the tilt track, which I hate that feature in this game. I don't know why it's in the game, but it's for people who just want to use it. I don't like it, so I don't use it. But so we're gonna see it tilt from here, obviously. And look at that tilt. It does look taller than it is. It truly does. It is about 100 feet, because that airtime hill is about 99, and they're about the same height. Some stats about this coaster, though. It does not read the full track length, obviously, due to its being a tilt coaster. But it does go 54 miles an hour, reaches a top speed of 73, it says its biggest drop at 73 feet. It's really not. If you're going from the top of the tilt all the way down to the bottom of the first drop, it's about 100. But yeah, here it is. We're about to watch it drop. And you should be able to hear it drop, actually, from here. And we'll look at the top of the train, because you'll see that that mechanism up there that holds the train in the back will drop out, and then boom. Obviously, there's a ride picture on this ride. Now, like I said, this ride is amazing. It truly is a work of wonder. It was a coaster I didn't even plan on building originally. But anyways, I'm going to mute, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy your ride on Megamind. So that was, of course, Megamind. Let me know if you like that ride. I actually like that ride. Like, if you were to put this at a smaller park, like something, you know, obviously Siren's Curse at Cedar Point is small, but if you put something like Siren's Curse or like something this size at a smaller park, it would do amazing wonders for that park. Anyways, time for the next one, right? So I'm gonna skip this area of the park mainly due to the fact that there's 4 coasters back there, and there's about 4 back here. Well, there's actually 5 or 6 going back this way. So we're gonna ride every single one of them. We are gonna skip this boomerang. It's just your typical Vekoma boomerang. I don't find the point in doing a POV for this one. Now there is a flying theater on this ride. It is the basic game model, so don't get excited for it. It's just a basic game model. I wanted to see how it works. Next we have Vortex. Now what's funny about this is that if your home park is Carowinds, you'll notice, oh wait, this is kind of like Vortex at Carowinds. Oh my gosh, you can actually walk to the station now. But you'll notice it's like, oh my gosh, it's like Vortex at Carowinds or another stand-up coaster. And well, it is colored the exact same as Vortex at Canada's Wonderland, and it's called Vortex. So obviously this ride sucks. Like, being honest, like, I think this is my least favorite coaster I actually built in this park. Now, the reason I say that is because it's just a boring layout. Yep, the dive loop. Well, that's really been implemented. I don't know what this probably is. Something like that. Then you go into your vertical loop, followed by a battling loop, which sucks a lot. Followed by a corkscrew, and then you do lots of meandering and stuff afterwards. Anyways, I'm a mute because you're about to be out of here on Vortex. Sit back, hold on, and enjoy your ride. And that was Vortex. Now, I am going to actually let this one manually go into the station because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this ride. So the ride obviously does look very much like an aerodynamics coaster in terms of some of the banking, especially towards the end of the ride going into that final helix. The reason I did that is because some of the bankings on stand-ups are just pure garbage. And so I wanted to give that feeling of that being pure garbage. This flat ride does get really close to Vortex. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if the trains and parts of that ride would be like. But this is the banking right here where it's like, oh my gosh, it feels like an arrow. In fact, I'll wait for the train to come by. But yeah, it's definitely like, it's a slow ride. It feels like just a very slow and old B&M. It's small, it's only about 80 feet tall, so it makes sense of why it's so slow. It really does. But here it comes. It's about to go through the corkscrew. And it's gonna do that meander part. That part's not bad. And then this is the part I'm talking about where you almost look like an arrow, because you'll notice that the trains are very much crooked right there, and that's just how it looks like an arrow, in my opinion. So next, we obviously have the back area of the park, which I love this area of the park. I think it has two of the greatest rides in the park. You have this new Gen Vekoma suspended thrill coaster, you have a B&M Flyer, and then you have a Gerstlauer. Gerstlauer, in my opinion, is one of the greatest rides in this park. This part of the park focuses on the thrills for sure. Like the high thrilling thrills. So obviously you have the stand-up coaster here, you have the boomerang, which is right there. And then you have the flying coaster, which is more gentle, but it has some of the thrill. You have this insane suspended looping coaster. That's in Tacoma. And then, like I said, you have the burst flower, which is just tall. Second tallest ride in the park. Has 6 inversions, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm about to say this, but 6 or 7. But yeah, you flow through those first 2 inversions of that ride. As you see, there's a loop. Just flow through them. And then you're going to see the 0G roll, which I actually placed over the pathway. You know, like I did in the pathway, because I'm not expanding past it. But it does go like right there in your beautiful view. And it just flows through those 2 inversions. And then you get to the Cobra roll, and it kind of snaps you a little bit. Picks up the intensity. Then you have like a little bit of an overbank thing, and then you go into the corkscrew, which you're like, holy moly, this ride picked up a lot of speed. And then you're done, pretty much. Like you do a few turns over vortex, and then your ride's on, and then your ride's over. So it's definitely a short ride, but like I said, it's a fun one. Our next ride is going to be the B&M Flyer. Jumanji is what I called it. This ride has a really good first half, and when I mean first half, I mean pretty much anything before the 0G roll. Well, 0G roll is probably the last good part. But you'll see why I honestly kind of find this ride a little mid in terms of other coasters in this park. But yeah, here we go on Jumanji. Like I said, this ride has a very basic layout, and in fact, it is short. It is a very short ride. But the next coaster we're about to hop on will make you feel like, oh my god, like, this is even shorter. Obviously, Jumanji is a great ride. I would never tear this down, actually. But, now, these two can have a kind of flyby element, which I don't think will happen on this cycle. That train is already pretty much at the top of the list on this one. I haven't dispatched yet. We'll get on the next train for Firestorm. But what can happen is these 2 trains kind of go through the 0G roll at the same time. Or this train could meet the train at the bottom of the loop. That can happen too on this ride. It might happen. Oh, they just barely missed it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hop on Firestorm. When I was looking for new coasters to add, I was thinking, what would be the next good thrilling addition that this park could add? And then I was like, an inverted coaster. But I was like, I don't want it to be a B&M member, because those are fun to build. But at the same time, you're like, well, what can be more packing a punch? What would be something more unique than a B&M? Because I already have 2 B&Ms in the park. So I was like, I need a different B. I need something that's different, ride manufacturer-wise. So instead, we built a new Gen Tacoma Thrill Coaster, and I think it honestly does better purpose than an invert would. Anyways, I think the train's about to dispatch. In fact, it should be any second now, because the ride's not that long. Oh, there we go. Anyways, we're going to enjoy our ride on Firestorm. like I said, this ride is just a pure powerhouse from start to finish. And that's what I really wanted with that ride. So I wanted it to be intense, I wanted it to be a powerhouse, and that's exactly what it does, and it does great at it. We're gonna save the big coaster for last, actually. And when I mean big coaster, well, we're actually gonna ride this first. We're gonna save a certain coaster for last, and you've seen this coaster. It's the longest coaster in the park. Well, actually, you might not have seen it. But we're gonna ride Fearfall. Fearfall is a Gerstlauer that I love a lot. So if you guys enjoyed this park so far, make sure to hit that like, obviously. And then let's go ahead and drop a few stories. It's 160 feet tall. Well, that was Fearfall. And what I will say about this ride, it's very short, I will say. In fact, I'm going to hop back on it just so I can see the details. It's a 90-second ride, but really it's not that long because you're going from top, like, drop to brakes. So it is a very short ride. And honestly, it was not my first stop from the build here. However, it's clearly loved by the guests because it has a line. Anyways, it's time to head to the front of the park to ride the remaining few coasters. Now, obviously, there is a coaster that is literally exactly from the game, and it's the only one I actually have. So I was like, I need a kiddie coaster. I don't like building kiddie coasters, so I was like, I'll just place the pre-built kiddie coaster and call it a day. Now, for whatever reason, I don't understand why Vortex has the longest line in the entire park right now. I don't know why, but it does, and so it's just something that we're going to have to get used to, I guess. Boomerang obviously has a long line. So there's the coaster that we're saving for last. It's just such a beast in length. That, if you know what the beast is at Kings Island, then that should have gave you a little bit of a hint, actually, for how long this ride is. You can clearly tell it's a motorcycle coaster, though. Anyways, we're hitting our first of our. It's a little bit of a kids area. It's a little bit of a thrill area. It's a mix of them, actually. I did a really good job of mixing this area between kids, families, and thrilling. Obviously, we have the Trot Tower. We have the Kitty Coma Boomerang. We have the B&M Hyper, obviously, that's right there. Then we have this little kids coaster, which is a pre-built one, obviously. We have that thrill coaster. It's more of a family thrill coaster. And then we have a few flats as well in this area. So, without further ado, we're going to take a ride on the Vekoma Boomerang, Kitty Boomerang. Vekoma Kitty Boomerang. And it's called, I can't actually remember what this is called now. Or actually, I have to wait for a train. But it's called Time Warp. But as you can see, it's actually very tall. It's a 90-foot tall boomerang. Kitty Boomerang. So it's definitely more on the family side of things, but it's definitely not too thrilling as well. See, it goes up that tall spike, and then it's coming back down. Now, the reason I made it so tall is just so it could truly keep its speed throughout the entire ride. Look at all those happy faces from riding. Now, there's the hyper coaster. It does have a variable lift speed motor, so you notice a few of my coasters do have like a little break in the lift hill, and that's because I wanted to make it slower to start and then faster, just to imitate the fact that, you know, well, it might be, sorry, the coaster might be running with one of those variable lift speed motors because, you know, of how the blocks work. So like the Hyper and the suspended thrill coaster do it because, well, the Hyper does have a mid-course, and suspended thrill coaster is a very short ride with a very short brake run, so that's how that works. Anyways, enjoy your ride on Time Warp. That was our ride on Time Warp, and we're almost done with this park. And honestly, for me, like the one who's recording it, it does not feel like this video has almost been 30 minutes long. It actually does not feel that long, but it is. So if you guys have been here through it all, you guys are true ones. We're not going to ride this kiddie coaster. It's just a basic kiddie coaster that I obviously just locked down, so we're not going to ride it. But you can see we added a lot of flat rides and stuff here for the kids and families. We have a Dodgem area here, which is actually running at full capacity right now, which is nice. We have a little swing ride here, wave swinger is what they're called at most parks. Now you can see this is the most popular coaster in the park. Well, it has a very long line. This is probably actually on the side of the park. I probably lied a little bit. Now the reason I'm saying that, it runs on 4 trains. It has 14 people a train, I'm trying to think. 7 cars, 2, yeah, so it would be 14. It runs about 14 people a train, so it has good capacity. It's just a long ride. There's the trains. You can see 7 cars, 14 people. We're actually going to get on it before it leaves. Oh, never mind. So it's called the Great Rush. It will get trees and stuff around it eventually, but obviously you guys will be there to see that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get on the Great Rush, because it's going to be dispatching momentarily. This ride is about, I'll tell you how long, 7,281 feet long, 63 mile an hour. Biggest drop of 14 feet. The drops aren't really that big on this ride. They're not steep either, so you don't feel like you're dropping too far. Anyways, enjoy your ride on the Great Rush, because we're out of here in a few seconds. It may be 7,000 feet long, but like, do you let me know in the comments section. Do you guys really feel like it's 7,000 feet long? Because you don't feel it, honestly. That's what I like about this ride. You truly do not feel the length. Because it's only a 90-second ride. It's 116 seconds. It's not long, and I accidentally just backed out of free cam. But it doesn't feel that long at all, and that's what I love about it. It feels perfect. It doesn't feel like it drags. Now, obviously, if this was a wooden coaster at that length, it would drag. It would feel like it drags due to like all the wood hills and stuff. Next is Behemoth. This ride is literally a behemoth. For a hyper coaster, it feels like a giga coaster with how it just keeps its speed. Especially coming into this part of the ride where this train is about to get the final brakes at. You really do keep your speed really well in this part of the ride. In fact, that's why the helix is so drawn out at the end, is so I could just burn off all that speed. And then you have such a long brake run too. But yeah, there it goes. It's hitting that faster part of that lift motor. Now you'll notice that this ride has trims right on the first drop, and that's because, well, if I didn't have those trims, this ride would be, quite frankly, just too fast. In fact, it was pulling almost like 5 Gs in some spots, so that's also another reason. You'll also notice, at least off-ride, that it has some bigger parts of the spine, specifically on the first drop. And we're actually to the point of the time, or the day, where I think I can... Hold on. I think if it lets me, which it's not going to now, I'm going to turn off the fixed sun, just so we can have like a true ride on Behemoth. Anyways, let's go ahead and ride Behemoth. If you guys like this ride, I think it's my favorite ride in the park. This and the motorbike coaster are my two favorites. Motorbike coaster has the length, and this has just everybody's favorite positive. It has positive G-forces, negative G-forces. It has everything. Anyways, enjoy your ride on Behemoth. That was the mighty Behemoth. Now, here's what I will say about this ride. You'll notice that it does stay close to the ground, and that's because the terrain, you're kind of going uphill throughout this section. Well, at least once you get to about here, because then you're like, oh my gosh, like the ride feels like it slows down, especially like when you're going back up this part of the terrain, and then you're right here where you don't drop all the way down to the ground. But you feel like you glide over these hills, and that's because these hills are elongated, but you still get the insane amount of positive G-force, or the insane amount of negatives that you want. And this ride is long. This ride is 7,000 feet long, and the reason it's so long is just because it's so elongated. Now you'll notice that I really only touched the terrain in one part of the ride, and it's right here. That's because I just wanted it to follow the terrain. Oop, it glitched a little bit. But I just wanted it to follow the terrain as much as I could without touching it. So that's what it does. And it does really good at that. And then these hills, obviously, when you get towards the end of the ride, they're still the same. Like, they're still elongated, but they feel a lot shorter because you're picking up speed as you're going downhill. So yeah, that was this amazing park called Wildwood. I get it. These park tours can be boring, especially, like, I'm not showing this coaster, like this little coaster at all. Just there's no point, in my opinion. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed Wildwood, it's a huge park. Like, you honestly can see the whole thing, obviously, from this free cam, but it's massive. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment, hit that comment button, I can't speak, hit that like button, comment down below what your favorite coaster was. I'll tell you right now, my favorites are between Behemoth and the Great Rush, and maybe Firestorm. But if you guys enjoyed, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, my friends.